Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear listening into another Kinectivity video. And this one I'm calling Metal Gear Connect Missions. Obviously, um, if anybody's paid attention to Metal Gear over the years, at least anybody who's an older fan of maybe the series, you'd realize that I'm kind of taking the concept from Metal Gear VR missions, which ended up on the PlayStation. In Japan, they got it with Metal Gear Solid. Over here, it was sold separately. Well, that's where it was sold separately, as far as I know. I think in both the U.S. and Europe and any other surrounding areas, it was sold separately. Um, I kind of think that this would be interesting, solely because it would put you in the seat of a character like Solid Snake or Raiden, where you are traversing through like these different environments, trying to sneak around and get to different objectives while avoiding different enemies and trying to not be detected. Now, how would this work with the Kinect? Basically, I wouldn't have it set up to be played with the Kinect outside of like sounds and things. So a bigger portion of the game would take notice is if you are speaking. Like you make any sort of noise, enemies will move over to your location. But you would basically still be playing the game with the controller. And this would catch a lot of people off guard because they would expect that anything that they say isn't going to matter in the game. It would. It would really matter. And it would fuck with you. Every time you made like a loud noise or something, you'd alert enemies to where you are, but you'd be basically playing the game. Like you wouldn't necessarily have to be Solid Snake or anybody like that. You wouldn't have to be any of the Snake family. But you could just be like a regular Joe. Well, not a regular Joe, obviously. You could be a regular soldier that's just doing the VR training. It doesn't have to be Snake or anybody else. I wanted to cover that point beforehand. Um, where just like the sounds that you make, like you're sneaking and you start talking, enemies turn around. And it's not like the Kinect doesn't have the ability to pick up on sounds in that way. I think it would really work out to be interesting. And I know that it would be frustrating for a lot of people. For me, it wouldn't because after I learned that that's how the game operates, I would be careful not to do that, or I would be smart about how I use those sounds to draw enemies to certain places. But all in all, it would still basically be the VR missions, just obviously different VR missions. Um, but you at this point you'd be utilizing the microphone on the Kinect, and maybe even the camera. Like depending on whether or not an area would require you to be shrouded in darkness. Like I think that could also be kind of interesting because there was a Metal Gear mobile game that required you to use the cameras on the phone to just like capture a different color in order to change your characters to camouflage yourself for a certain area. Like so they could take that same concept and basically just kind of like let the sensor detect light again depending on the mission. It wouldn't just be something that it does constantly, but just depending upon the mission, you'd have to have your lights off or maybe like have the sensor kind of covered so so that it doesn't pick up like the camera covered, so it doesn't pick up on any images around, like so like you can block out like having a specific light on, and it will allow you to camouflage your character. Again, though, it would still pick up on sound, so you still have to be careful about that. Like, it just makes it so that you have more involvement in the game yourself as a player, rather than just okay, I'm just going to play the game and that's that. Like, you actually have to pay attention to different mission objectives and mission conditions in this particular game and how everything plays out. And if you don't, you lose. Not much problem there, at least as far as I am concerned. Um, But I don't really know if I can really push this idea too much further, because it is an interesting concept, but I don't think this could. And I think for a Metal Gear like VR esque game, it would work. But I don't think it would be something that a lot of people would be interested in. It's just, to me, it's an interesting idea, and it could be kind of cool. Again, it's something different from the norm. So that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears up for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games and